So before we get into this podcast, I need to address what it is that we are doing here today. So this podcast, this is a distraction. After the summer we've had, and in general, as stressful as life can be, there's nothing wrong with a little escapism. But before we are sports fans, before we are football fans, before we are Liverpool fans, every single one of us creating this podcast, watching, listening, we're all human beings. Obviously, that's a prerequisite for how we're able to do this. So before we get into our fun little distraction, which is, as someone called it, the most important of the least important things, we need to address why there were no sports on August 26, 2020. We are recording this the following day on the 27th, right before the Community Shield, before the scheduled start of the Premier League season, which is set to go on September 12th. The reason why sports paused with a player boycott or a player strike, really, was because, by and large, Americans have not been treated like human beings. We can get into further complicated conversations, but I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. Stating the obvious that life is precious, yet far too often, not everyone's life is treated as such. So as Americans, we should be absolutely outraged whenever someone's American dream ends in tragedy, specifically something that is completely avoidable. It is an affront to our great union that we would find it acceptable that a life could be snuffed out because a teenager was walking home from the store, a child was playing with a toy gun, a man was selling loose cigarettes, a woman had a busted taillight, a man had his licensed firearm in the glove compartment, a man was running away, a man had a taser in his possession, a young man was jogging, a woman was asleep in her home with her boyfriend, and due to having the wrong address, was shot and bled out in her own hallway without receiving any medical attention. And now in Kenosha, Wisconsin, not only was Jacob Blake shot 7 times in his back after ironically being the one to keep the peace, breaking up a fight, and people were there in Kenosha to voice their displeasure about the fact that there was this cowardice shooting of that man. Another young man thought it was his duty to bring his own weapon and shot 3 people, killing 2. And you'll notice I only mentioned one name throughout that first part because I'm not trying to do anything clever. I'm not trying to be cute, but I just hate being redundant when it comes to this topic. And you know their names, so I don't have to really repeat them unless you've been living under a rock for the last decade. But even if you have, these things aren't unique or unfamiliar. Rodney King, Emmett Till, Tamir Rice, George Floyd, Sandra Bland, Breonna Taylor. Like, these names, they all change, but that's about all that seems to change. We're in a country where we need to do better. We should do better. We should demand to do better, because what is the point of us being the greatest country on the face of the earth if it's not great and perfect for every single American? So I end my monologue with this. If you're made uncomfortable by this type of conversation and what continues to happen in America, well, good. Welcome to the party. You're about 400 years too late, but it's good to feel that discomfort. It shows that you have a heart for others, for human beings who aren't yourself. That's totally okay. If you don't want to have this conversation and would rather ignore these injustices, and if nothing else, even argue against people who are trying to end these injustices, then please, I just ask you, do not use any content that I am a part of. Do not use anything that I have to do with to pull that wool over your eyes and stick to sports. Leave me out of that, please. It's been a spring and a summer where we've been at the mercy of a pandemic. Things have not been normal. But please, can we just not let the same epidemic that has been happening in this country since before its inception continue to plague the people who live in this nation? We're going to need a hell of a lot more than just a little bit of medication to get through what we're facing right now. So now that we got all the hard stuff out the way, let's talk some football, guys.
Well
I know
done,
it's
Darius.
awkward.
Well
Well
done.
said.
No, it's well said. Well said.
Really well said.
Yeah, man, and it's a discussion that need to be had. We're not going to have the discussion here now. I think you said all that really needs to be said. And yeah, sports shouldn't be a distraction. And I would just go ahead, David. Sorry.
All right, I'd add that it's something that I don't really care. Like he said, if it's uncomfortable, it's a conversation you need to have, if nothing else, with yourself. And it's time that everybody start owning their part in this and figuring out how we get beyond this. So I thought that was really beautifully written, man, and really well said.
Yeah, it was, man. But football, yes. Tampa Bay Cup Talk Season 3. Treble, here we come, Jubilee. Right? Is that the saying for this year? We're gonna win the treble.
Gonna win the treble. It doesn't carry.
We can get into what defines success this season. I mean, I think it's going to be massively different for all of us.
That's for the end, though, right? The first thing we have to do. But we could just define success as the whole season gets played. I mean, that would be successful.
Jeez, I thought we were lighting it up, Dave. Damn.
No, it's dark. It's morbid. If you're a Liverpool supporter fan, if you're a Liverpool supporter for the last 5 years, sometimes it gets a little dark, right? But last season, anyone want to say it?
I mean, they did the thing. Yeah.
They did the thing, the 30-year thing. And it was so weird. Locked down, like it wasn't exactly how we wanted it to be, but I think that's the Liverpool way, right?
I mean, it had to be the most dramatic way possible. Who cares? We're the kings. We're in the crown. Enjoy it. I mean, we'll get to enjoy others. The monkey's off our backs. That's all I cared about. I just wanted it to happen, and it happened. More will come.
Yeah, I completely agree with that statement. The fact that, we're on our perch, and, after winning the Champions League, it's just another stepping stone to keep going, So we'll see, though.
I mean, it's the thing that we had been waiting for, right? Like, even after winning the Champions League, you had so many fans saying, that was good, but if I could trade it, I would have taken the title. Because they were so close last year, so agonizingly close the year before. So to go off and do it, but then in the way they did it as well, good Lord. I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily a Hollywood ending, but it was damn satisfying just knowing for literally 4 or 5 months before it actually happened, it was going to happen. Like usually when fans are saying we're going to win the league, it's like we're kind of willing it into existence. We're manifesting it, if you will, but no, we already knew. It's like, no, it's done and dusted, bro. Like
as long as these games get played, this is happening, folks.
Like the games don't even count, whatever. We got this. It's done.
Did anyone else just enjoy the shit out of that Chelsea game? Like, it was so fun. Just like
in the bar, we were social distancing, but man, what a memory. Definitely was. I had to Uber home, or no, my wife had to come pick me up. And, yeah, it was bad. I definitely could not drive. It was just nuts, and I'm glad we did that in a safe manner and all that good stuff. But
my story for that day. So like our buddy Butch came up from Miami. A bunch of us got together at American Social. We went pretty hard. I said I wasn't going to get that I wasn't going to go that hard because I was supposed to be on a monitoring an event that my work does that night.
Awkward.
So yeah, I went a little too hard. I fell asleep when I got home and did not wake up. So I woke up at 3:00 in the morning and ran to my computer, as if the thing was still going to be going on. I ran and I'm checking my email, having a heart attack, flipping out. And there's all these emails are you doing this? Hey, are you going to join or what?
I'm sorry, I'm pissed drunk, passed out. Liverpool won the goddamn league. Deal with it, okay?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really drink, but I went to the pub after the City-Chelsea match, and just got pissed, drunk. Lee was there. He bought me like 6-7 pints. I had to call someone to come pick me up. I downed a whole bottle of champagne to my face, got pissed drunk in my living room, ate a couple of, medications, the herbal types.
Film that video in your yard.
Yeah, exactly. I hung my flags up and screamed outside the neighborhood, and all the neighbors came out and like, what's this thing? What's LFC Tampa Bay? What is that? Like some type of what? I don't even know what that is. Like, oh, it's a soccer thing, man. It's really big. You want me to tell you about it? Because I will. I'll talk your ear off for the next 30 minutes about it if you let me. But yeah, it wasn't exactly what we wanted. Obviously, we had like Sunshine Cop planned. And we wanted to do it big, but given the circumstances, it was still a let off, man. And yeah, it was grand and wonderful. And even though, look, the monkey's off the back, so we're going to win plenty of more titles and be able to celebrate them in grand fashion. But to let that off was it.
I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I wrote that article right after the Man United game about singing we're going to win the league, about how we're going to move into this like new reality where like expectations change and like our demeanors change as football fans, like kind of like going through puberty and becoming real men and like, puffing our chests out and being proud. But I guess Andrew still hasn't gone through puberty.
Well, I mean, that mentality is never going to change. There's going to be...
I'm sorry, but I'm very optimistic in like all aspects of life. But as a Liverpool fan, it's the only aspect of my life where I'm like,
he's constantly nervous.
I'm just hesitant as hell and more of cautious.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Andrew, now is your time.
Like
be the unbearable, my guy. Go for it.
It's like being a Liverpool fan is kind of like my entry into a masochistic world, basically.
I mean, that's what the last 10 years would have been.
I mean, yeah, facts.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about all that, and I'll explain why later. But yeah, no, for the moment though, obviously over the moon, and the sky's the limit. But everything's got me worried because of as David said earlier, it's like, will we even finish the season? If we can get over that hump, then all things are possible. But we'll see.
No, but if we don't, we just stay champions for another year.
I don't know if that bad works, but I'll take it. I'll take that.
Like during the pandemic when we had that podcast and I told David, hey, I'm fine with being 25 points ahead of everyone for the rest of time. Okay? Even if we don't win the thing, I'm perfectly cool with being 25 points ahead of everyone for the rest of the foreseeable future.
Was that the episode where we started off with it's the end of the world and you know it?
Yes. yes. But enough about last season because, it's lots have been said. We're going to move forward and just real quick talk about the best off-season story from this off-season.
So to win the Champions League was this huge let-off, and then coming into this year, I just thought, we're not going to let off. I think I knew very early on. The first game of the season, Alisson goes down, and Adrian steps in and wins 8 games in a row, and I was like, I think we're going to win the title, guys. I'm feeling pretty confident. And then the moment that really sealed it for me that I thought, I don't think we're going to lose very much, was United away. And you just saw the way that we got boned by the referee. We had everything kind of going against us, and they just would not give up. They just wouldn't give up.
All right, so David, you're first. What was your favorite off-season story? Because it was like 2 weeks, to be honest.
It was 2 weeks, and come on, it's got to be Slabhead getting arrested in Mykonos. The memes that came out of it, I loved it. People were like, oh, Man United doesn't want to pay the bail up front. They want to do it in installments.
Or like they offered like $200,000 in Jesse Lingard and Chris Smalling.
Somebody was like, oh, whatever, that's a Liverpool thing. I was like, no. If it was Liverpool, we'd pay the bail up front, but loan him back to the jail for a season.
Yeah, something like that. Or actually, we would negotiate the bail to be so much lower that everyone else would be like, how did you fucking do that?
Yeah, because we loaned him back. No, then, just the details of it, just like the fact that he was in there for a couple of days and now he says he was scared for his life.
Oh, I haven't seen the post-jail Harry Maguire
confessional.
He did an
interview. He did a sit-down interview.
Yeah, he did an interview. He did a whole, Barbara Walters interview kind of thing.
With Sky Sports, yeah.
Pornhub for me tonight. I'm just going to watch that.
It was, it's good for entertainment. The State of United. It's been a rough couple of weeks. Messi's going to go to City.
The thing for me,
Slabhead gets arrested. They didn't win anything. It's been a rough couple of weeks.
The thing for me about the Maguire thing is it just once again proves the gap in class between us and them as a club. I mean, our central defender is this, very GQ, metropolitan, very of the age, imposing, unbeatable center back, and their guy is a fucking English townie going on the Mediterranean, having a piss up and getting into a fight. I literally, when I heard it, I texted all my British friends. I was like, it's the most fucking townie fucking thing I've ever heard of. Let's go to the Mediterranean, get pissed drunk, and start fighting our own people. Because that's the thing. He fought a bunch of English fans, England fans first, and then he started punching the police. Jesus Christ, Harry Maguire. Wow. Get it together. You're a professional footballer. But yeah, that was a solid one. Darius, your favorite off-season story.
So the off-season was so damn short that I can't even go with one that's non-football related. I have to go with on the pitch. So during Liverpool's off-season, you still had the Champions League going on. Well, one of the players in the Champions League is very familiar to both Liverpool and Barcelona. Philippe Coutinho. Philippe Coutinho goes on to the pitch against Barcelona and bags a brace. And, of course, we'll get into that financial part of it, too. The fact that he wins the Champions League because he wanted to do it with Barcelona. That's why he signed. You're like, I'm going to win the Champions League, and does it, against Barcelona to be able to get there. And then on top of that, the whole discussion. Does Liverpool literally profit from this? So I've heard so many different things. Oh, well, no, it was a negotiation that's already been paid. Or, well, this was a little add-in that literally kicked in just this season. It would have been last year or this year. That Liverpool would have gotten 5 million quid because Philippe Coutinho won the Champions League. Even though he wasn't with Barcelona, Barcelona got it paid.
Yeah.
That to me is just
people are like, there's no way they didn't stipulate the team that he wins with. I'm like, why would they?
It was a player contract,
Who would have thought,
a team.
We're going to loan him out until when it was someone else.
Right.
Yeah.
No plans for that.
But then, if that's true, then every contract going forward should have that clause in there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's great. But for me, are you done, Darius? I'm sorry, my bad. No, so for me, that story. Well, number one would be that because you were just talking about the Champions League, I didn't know, maybe this happened before and I was blind to it, but now the Champions League, at least in the United States, on TV is with CBS.
CBS, yeah.
No more Bleacher Report.
No.
Yeah.
Put some respect on the name. CBS All Access / CBS Sports Network. Not on CBS Linear.
We're not even on TV now.
No. You got to get it right.
I didn't know you spoke legalese. Jesus.
I speak television, my guy.
But anyway, no, that's good because, we all know that, from the United States perspective, the Bleacher Report thing, the app was shitty, the TV, the streaming was the people behind the network in terms of the pundits and stuff, not very good. Doesn't matter. Not that it really matters because I'll be in the bar anyway with them, it'll probably be muted, but
be prepared to watch in Spanish this year, baby. Oh, yeah. A lot of Univision, Unimas. Yeah.
Oh, that's my bread and butter, baby. I love that
so that's good.
Doesn't bother me at all. I don't listen to the guys when they speak English. So
okay, well, I will say
but at least the point is, though, when we'll be in the bar next year or up until 2024, we'll have a decent stream because I'm assuming CBS's app is going to be good enough to handle, the situation.
Don't assume things.
It was decent. I like pretty good.
Yeah, I know HBO is.
Hey, listen, anyway. It was way better listening to Micah Richards and Jamie Carragher than Steve Nash.
Yes,
Steve fucking Nash couldn't even win an NBA title. What do you know about the fucking Champions League last? He had a grip.
I mean, Steve Nash. Fine if he wants to be a fan, a guest pundit, but like consistent, it's just a bit weird, isn't it?
It was weird.
Anyway. Yeah. So, and then besides that, more Liverpool related, I mean, I love the fact that we bought this Greek guy for bus fare. No idea who he is, no idea if he's any good, but the fact that we bought him for literal bus fare, I'm all about that life. So,
yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it when we talk about the friendlies, because I don't know if you guys have, but I watched both friendlies, and he looks a player, to be honest. I'm excited to see what he can do in a rotation.
I just really like James
according to everyone except for James Milner.
No, but to be honest, it's very encouraging that he was instantly able to come into the team, be screamed at like that without knowing anyone, and not take it on the chin and be like, okay, you know what, this is what it is. Because they had to laugh about it on social media afterwards. And I'm sure, and as long as he understands that's the culture, because they have a go at each other all the time. Sadio Mane having to go at Mo Salah, it happens all the time. We see it. And so it's good that he can come in and be part of that culture. I'm like, that's what we do as a transfer.
What would you expect? What would be the alternative? He's going to cry on the pitch like a little bitch? Like,
there's a chance.
I mean, there are guys who are friends.
There's always a chance.
Yeah.
I guess.
Anyway. But we'll talk about him with the friendlies. My favorite offseason story, and I'll keep it real short, is as a recording artist on Spotify, you can go to the Spotify artist app and you can compare your stats to like other artists. So I was curious, and I went to Robin S's account and I looked at her plays. And what you notice is, and if you don't know who Robin S is, she's the one that sings, "You got to show me love." Well, in June, there is a very steady increase in her plays. And then it's kind of continued on all through the summer and like stayed up at this like new little peak. And, it's not been talked about anywhere. I just peeked out of curiosity because I've only happened to play that song, I don't know, every single morning, at least 3 or 4 times on repeat, and just getting after it. And yeah, hey, shout out to Liverpool. Dua Lipa, she's been to more Champions League finals than Manchester City has. And, she's now like a Liverpool fan. Maybe we can get Robin S on the crew, get her to go to Anfield for like when fans are allowed to go back, do like a little pre-game concert outside with the pub. It's massive, but that's my favorite. But anyways, so to ask, who here watched the friendlies, if any?
I saw little bits.
Okay, like highlights.
Highlights of the first
No,
one.
I haven't even seen highlights.
And little chunks of the match here and there. Like I couldn't watch the whole thing, but.
Okay. What about you, Darius?
Yes, I saw the second one in full. Got to see that one, but the first one was just kind of highlights here and there. Followed along on the app.
I watched the whole first one, but there wasn't much to watch. I'm sure you saw from like the highlights. It's like, what the hell's going on here? I can't. There's no depth perception.
It was the worst camera angle I've ever seen. Like I've broadcast like high school, low level college. I've been in some situations where it's like I can't see the ball. I have no clue what's going on. It wasn't that bad. What they had was an assault, an affront to any kind of broadcast. So it was disrespectful, honestly. So I'm glad that you were able to
I'm
make
surprised
it through, but I don't see how you did.
No, I'm surprised they finished the game. To be honest, like they could have called it off.
From a player perspective, Brewster's been scoring goals left and right. Is it because of the opposition, or is he like?
He's a finisher.
Yeah,
it's like Divock Origi. And there's like a very real conversation with Rhian Brewster's offseason. If someone does want to come by Divock Origi, the only reason I want to keep a hold of Divock Origi is because I still think he can grow, but he's like a natural finisher. He's our most natural finisher in the team, and Rhian Brewster has that. Gini Wijnaldum even said afterwards, someone asked him, "Are you surprised by Rhian Brewster's ability to finish?" And he was like, "No, because I've been seeing it in training for almost 2 years now." Like this kid is just like an innate finisher. Now the tactical side, the positioning, there's some stuff to work on there, but he's still very, very young. Not even 20 yet, right? Is he 19?
Mm-hmm. Didn't he just turn 20? I don't know. I thought he
might have just
20, right?
Regardless,
he's still young.
Many years before his prime is even going to arrive upon him. And that's part of figuring out football when you're 19, 20 years old. But the key thing that you can't really teach anyone is just the innate ability to finish. His second goal against Red Bull, it's one of those where you see all the time where it drops to pros, they get a little panicky and they send it over or like to the corner flag. And he just had the composure to let it come down, sit up, put it over to the defender. It's a wide open net. You don't have to worry about anything. Just take the breath.
But where did he finish? Do you remember where he put the ball?
Top corner,
top bins on an open goal. He could have put that ball anywhere, and he's like, no, I'm gonna make this spectacular.
It was the same composure as that Divock Origi long ball chip over Jordan Pickford, where he just took it down one time and then lobbed it with like this just precise touch and like just the calmness and awareness of where everything is. Now, so like that's the big discussion, Andrew, is like, do we loan him out or do we keep Divock Origi? Does Divock Origi go and we leave Rhian Brewster there? But yeah, Rhian Brewster has been definitely one of the stars of the two friendlies. Because he has what is it? I saw somewhere like 11 preseason goals already for us.
Well, what would you guys do? What would you want to do with Brewster this season? Would you want to send him to like a Newcastle for a loan period? Or would you want him to play 15 times throughout the season for us?
I think at this point, he's proven his worth as a goal scorer. So if you send him out on loan, I really don't know what you're going to get out of it other than the fact that he'll be playing consistent football. What you really want from him is to grow and learn the system, how to be Liverpool's number 9, how to play under Jurgen Klopp. I just don't see what you're getting if you send him off to, if it's Newcastle or Sheffield are very interested in getting him on loan. I just don't see what you're really getting out of that when you're playing a different system, different style. We want to see how he plays as the Liverpool number 9. Only way you can do that is by being the Liverpool number 9. So even if it is only 5-6 times you get to see him on the pitch outside of the cups, I'm okay with that because I know that in practice he'll be getting that experience, learning behind Bobby Firmino, learning behind Takumi Minamino, like learning that style, that false 9 way of playing. And then, of course, if you want to just be like, nah, we'll just keep him at the true number 9 and play a 4-2-3-1 or something like that, then sure, you could do that too. But I'm just like, you know what? He needs to learn how to play Liverpool style. I don't see what really improves by putting him on loan.
I agree 100% with what Darius said there. To piggyback on it, like for me, not only do you want him to learn how to play the Liverpool way, but this season is different. It's unlike any other season that we're ever going to see. There's so much football right on top of it, just going to be game after game after game. It's going to come thick and fast. I think he's going to have a lot more opportunities than you think because I would not be surprised to see regular squad rotation. Like, you're going to have to get used to seeing some unconventional lineups. It's not always going to be Salah, Mane, Firmino out there because he's got to keep them fresh. He's got to keep them rotated out. So you're going to see some front threes that are like, you know, Mane, Origi, Minamino, or whatever. And he's going to be figuring out little ways to kind of shoehorn them together. And Brewster gives you more options. To his point about the 4-2-3-1, you now have that tactical flexibility to put in a guy that is a true number 9 and a true finisher. So for me, I would just keep him. I want to play him a lot this year and see what happens. You know, the pressure's off a little bit. You know, I'm kind of looking at this season a lot differently. Like, I know we want to win again, but
right.
I think there is a little bit of space to experiment, and we're still going to be solid in the back. We're still going to be very good in midfield. I mean, if we get Thiago, we're going to be really deep in midfield too. So for me, I just think, like, keep him because what are your other options? I think you need the depth too because everybody can't stay healthy forever, right? Yeah. So I need those options off the bench, and he's just such a young talent. Well, and what a great time for him to get in under Klopp.
Yeah, I agree with to round it off. I agree with both of you. Like, the combination of the two is like he needs to learn, be in the system, be around the guys. He also, provides depth and different options. And like, there's a case that we have like a B squad that is capable of beating the bottom 6 teams in the Premier League. And that includes Rhian Brewster at a 9 in a different formation. And I think we have to remember that, you know, Klopp isn't necessarily married to a system as much as he is married to what players he has. And he works with what he has to form the system. So I think there's a case that you're going to.
Oh, no.
Sorry. I just got a call. Hold on. My bad. I think there's a case that, like, training needs to be A team, B team, and Rhian Brewster's part of the B team. He's been class. I'd keep him. I wouldn't loan him. Absolutely not. Keep him around. Because, yeah, he's been class in the preseason. He was class at Swansea. He scored basically over 10 goals in half a season. That was also truncated. Like,
it was 11 and 22
for him. Yeah, exactly.
Only half a season he was there, right?
Yeah. Yep. And the championship is no easy task, and it's definitely not easy during a pandemic. And he made it look like it was. So, yeah. The only place we'd loan him to is another Premier League team, and like, why? You know, like, he can get that experience playing those teams with us, while also in training playing the best defense in the whole world and getting better. And like Darius said, learning the system.
And like, what kind of football is he going to play at Sheffield United or Newcastle, right? Like, is that really going to serve him well when he comes back to Liverpool and you want him to be a Liverpool player?
He'll get to practice hold-up play and sending the ball wide out to a center back who, for some reason, is doing an overlap. That's Sheffield play. No, seriously, like, that's how they play. Like, oh, That's my number 4. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
he might get good at taking corners.
Yeah, in regard.
No, I don't disagree with you guys. It's just that I doubt that's going to happen. I just doubt. I think because the traditional thing is they're going to send him out on loan again. We've done. However, though, it'd be. I agree with you. They'd be dumb. I just have no.
It's just a different season. It's like David
I have no
said.
faith in humanity, guys.
It's like David said. This isn't going to be like this year where like there's going to be breaks where first teamers can rest and stuff like.
Right.
Be like game after game after game every 3 days, and they're smart. Our guys are just so smart. They're cutting edge. They're everything, and like bringing in Thiago like makes them. We have a whole second midfield that is just world class that can plug in behind or already world class.
Is that a done deal yet?
It's. I mean, we can transition into transfers real quick. But the last thing I wanted to say in regards to like the friendlies is like, what's the French center back kid's name? He's looked like an absolute steal and like just out of nowhere. We've been playing. No. Is like Mokiemo or something. I can't remember his name. I've only glanced at it a couple times. He's this massive lad at the back. He's been playing next to Sepp Vandenberg, who's looked somewhat decent and calm and collected when he's been back there. Kiana Hover's gotten like 3 or 4 inches taller. Am I delirious? Have I been smoking too much marijuana? Or he's gotten 3 to 4 inches taller. I think there was a video of the preseason training session where Klopp is talking to him and he goes, "Whoa, what have you been doing this offseason? You've just sprouted like a tree." But he is only like 17 years old, so it's not unexpected he would grow a little bit. But he looks massive at right back. It looks like no, but the thing is he's looked shaky because I think he hasn't come to grips with his extended body parts yet. You know what I mean?
He's like in his avatar body.
Like a young giraffe.
I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, exactly. He's in his avatar body floating around out there. But
he's me at 14. Like
there's going to be opportunities for them where we play, and we're still going to have to play the stupid League Cup. We're still going to have to play the FA Cup. There's no replays. There's no second legs, and it goes straight to extra or penalties and extra time.
And hey, those are the only trophies Klopp hasn't won at this point.
Yeah, and those guys are good enough to go beat fucking Crawford Town or wherever like a couple times. And they're good enough, honestly, to beat the teams that came up from the championship with support from players that are world-class behind them. Chimichangas to go back to it. He's been good. Yeah, Costas. That's the thing to call him is Costas. He's looked good. And yet Minamino's look good in the friendlies. It's promising, it's developing the second team. The depth that we've never had and always had at the same time is actually deeper now. And that includes keeping the youth around, That's my 2 cents on the friendlies. Sorry.
I think Minamino's set to play like a really big role. And it was really smart to bring him in January because, there's always that betting in period. It was always going to be hard for him to just jump right in. And what we ask him to do now is basically be like a Bobby Firmino. That's not the easiest thing to ask somebody to do. So it's going to take some time. Sure. Giving him that 6 months to learn that and to be around the squad and to create some cohesion. Now coming into this season, it's like he's been here through all of it and he's just one of the guys. So that's a huge, huge win.
Yeah. But so for me, the thing is not so much the Bobby Firmino replacement is for that second goal that we scored against Salzburg. He played like the Gini Wijnaldum role, kind of, where he was in that space at the edge of the box to play the 1-2 to James Milner so he could just lay it across to Rhian. And that's the kind of through balls and like side rule passes that you see from Gini Wijnaldum a lot. That it's like the hockey assist kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And he looked really smooth doing it. Granted, it's preseason friendlies and it's Redbird Salzburg's, substitute defenders, but it was 1-2 brilliant right on a plate, James Milner across goal. And like maybe more than being a Bobby Firmino replacement, if Rhian Brewster does stick around, he's like that 10 role in a 4-2-3-1.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Maybe. Is that why such a large segment of our fan base on Twitter seems to be ready to sell Gini Wijnaldum? I just thought it was because they were twats.
Yeah, let's get into it because let's talk about transfers and let's talk about Thiago and let's answer Andrew's question. Let's circle back around to that. Yeah. The word on the street is we're going to sign him, Andrew. That's the word on the street.
Because the reason why I say that is because BBC says one thing, my German Bayern friend says another thing. He thinks that it's a done deal, and apparently the German media is saying that it's practically a done deal. But the way I look at it, unless it's like a legit journalist on Twitter and or the BBC, like I don't believe it. So for me, and like until I see him leaning in Melwood, I don't believe it.
Dude, I'll take it a step further.
But I would take Thiago. I mean, watching the final, he played very deep. So I was just thinking in my head, like, okay, is he gonna do like kind of like Wijnaldum, or is he gonna like come in for Fabinho? What's his role gonna be, or maybe Klopp is gonna do something crazy and put him, more advanced role. Like I mean, I just didn't know. I was just thinking. I mean, I was half drunk, but still, I was just thinking, like, what's gonna happen here?
Well, to speak to your skepticism, I mean, I'm with you. Like, until it's announced and he's holding a jersey up, like, this could go the way that we just saw with Timo Werner. Like, it could be somebody else that swoops in. So exactly. I'm not gonna be like, yes, we got him until he's actually holding a jersey up. I get
French guy's name, the French Fakir. It could be another Fakir saga.
Yeah.
I don't want to deal with that shit.
No Babel copter for you guys, huh?
But yeah, but Andrew.
What happened? What?
I said no Babel copter for you guys. Do you guys remember that?
No.
When Ryan Babel was in a helicopter circling the grounds, choosing where he was going to play.
Oh, we'll crash the flight tracker site again as a worldwide fan base. That's what we do. I think he's coming. The word on the street is that we're 8 million pounds apart on valuation, and I believe in Michael Edwards. I also know that Thiago has told the club, no, that's where I want to go. You figure it out. And players have a lot more power in the modern transfer market to do that, especially if he's like that. And you know what? I don't want him if he's not like that. So, and he's like that. He's like, nope, going to Liverpool, and that's all I want. So either drop a discount or I'm going on a free next year. Deal with it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want a player on my team unless he wants to be there. I agree with that 1,000%.
Yeah.
So Andrew, to answer your question, as far as like what role he plays, I mean, it's kind of one of those where it's a bit of a throwback, but he's more of a deep lying playmaker, right? So when you think of like kind of like how Pirlo would do like back in the day, right? Like that's kind of the role that he plays. So it goes back to kind of what we were talking about in the last part, where we were talking about what if Liverpool wanted to play a 4-2-3-1. Well, it would probably be him and Fabinho next to each other in the anchor in the midfield. And then you could be like, yeah, we'll throw on 4 attackers in front of them and just guns ablazing, go at it. So that's what Thiago kind of helps you do. It gives you a little bit more of that link of play, a little bit more of that decisive pass before the pass from deeper down the pitch. And it also allows you to have a guy who gives you all of the Cruyff turns in the world, because he is wonderful with a good Cruyff turn. We're missing Adam Lallana, guys. We need a Cruyff turn, and he's wonderful at it.
That's a good point. I never even considered that, and you sold me instantly.
Yeah.
I hold you on that.
Yeah. You convinced, if this is Shark Tank, I'm in.
I'll donate. Where's the GoFundMe for the last 8 million? I'm fucking in.
Just for the Cruyff. Give me the Cruyff.
I'm just curious in terms of like where do you guys think he would play in Klopp's system? Because, as you said, Klopp could do a 4-2-3-1, but I was thinking again half drunk in the 4-3-3, and I'm like, well, Fabinho is just for me, Fabinho is third on the team sheet after Alisson and Van Dijk. So I'm like,
yeah.
So what do you think, David? Where are you gonna put him?
I think one of the things that makes him special is he's exactly what we look for in terms of he's flexible. I don't think he has to play that deep lying role. I think he's so creative, and he's got that, like, he's like an Adam Lallana. Like, if you wanted to put him in a 10, you could put him in a 10. You probably at this stage in his career might not. But at the end of the day, like, he has that flexibility, and if you look at our lineup, that's kind of what they look for. Like, Gini Wijnaldum is so special to us because he can play Bobby's role against Barcelona away, but he can hop right back in and be a midfielder in the next game and score 2 goals.
Also, he never loses the ball. Somehow, he's like, his body, he has that body strength. Just like, oh, get off me. Let me stick.
He's got a great arse. Say it. He's got a great arse, and he knows how to use it.
Yo, that boy thick.
Third on my
that boy thick.
He is thick.
That boy
thick.
Yeah.
No, that's what he does. He just bounces off people or whatever. But I don't necessarily think Thiago is at the expense of Gini Wijnaldum or anything like that. I think a lot of it has to do with what Gini Wijnaldum wants to do with his career. And we even said this at one point, David, like maybe even at the beginning of last season, where it was like Gini Wijnaldum is going to become that like prime Dutch midfielder And when you look at every single prime Dutch midfielder, every single one of their careers is hopping from league to league and having different experiences. Clarence Seedorf, Edgar Davids, they've all moved around. Frankie de Jong. I'm sure that Gini Wijnaldum is like, I have completed England to a certain extent, and it's nothing ill-feeling. And he's like, I want to go to Barcelona. I don't doubt these Ronald Koeman, Gini Wijnaldum links and having him go to Barcelona. And I wouldn't begrudge him doing it because, I mean, he delivered the goods and all that. But
yeah, and it'd be a new challenge for him because, I mean, in the national team, he plays further forward versus what he does for us. So he probably, to your point, he's like, oh, I'm done with England. Let me go do Spain. But also play more forward, like basically a different position under a guy that I've had success with. I mean, he had a hat trick the other, months ago, right? So, but maybe, but don't go, Genie, don't go.
No, but deeper than that, I don't think Thiago is at the expense of Genie. I just think it's up to Genie at this point, and whether we bring in Thiago or not has nothing to do with it. I know there was talk about like, well, we're only bringing in Thiago if Genie's leaving, but yeah, I don't buy into that talk at all. I think we can have them both. And I think there's the reality is James Milner is getting another year older. And how much longer can you keep him around?
No, but Millie is interesting because now that we have Costas, the guy we got from bus fare, that frees up James Milner to play actually midfield.
Mm-hmm. Well, so I wanted to answer your question about like what we do with Thiago, and that's like, your first midfield could be Fabinho, Keita, Jordan Henderson, and then your second midfield is Thiago, James Milner, and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Like what? Okay. Those are two fairly decent midfields that I have no problem with. Marco Grujic can slide in there at some point, and play that further forward role. No, I'm personally invested in Marco's career now.
I got his signature right here, son. Marco, son. Marco, holla at your boy right here. Slide into my DMs.
Yeah. We did slide into his DMs, and he did.
Yeah, dude. I felt like such an asshole because, like, I said to VJ, I was like, "Did you really just text him? He ain't gonna fucking text you back. Get out of here. He's a grown ass man." And then he's like, "Okay, no problem." My mind instantly blew. Like I was just like, "What? Humanity's amazing."
We are ITKs in the sense of that we know the mindset of Marco Grujic as a Liverpool player and what he's trying to accomplish with his Liverpool career. And we know the fact that he's like, no, I don't want to leave. I want to fight for my place. Like we have that insider information.
No, he done told me. He done told me.
No, exactly. He told me.
Midfielder inhurtable in history.
I mean, exactly.
That's what I heard.
And I know everyone wants to sell him for some reason, but again, it's like, keep him around, man. And like this season's different, like you said, David, and we need more options. And at the end of it, when the transfer market, hopefully everything returns to a normal and the transfer markets are back on, we'll have loads of players to offload for loads more money than we would get this season.
Exactly.
Without being able to use them,
And I think that the team and the head office knows that. And I think that's probably why, I was asking off air about some of the other players like Wilson or a Shaq or an Origi that we may or may not sell. And I think they know that if they were to sell this year, you're probably looking at a 30% loss minimum, right? Yeah. So based on this market. So I think to your point, and with the games coming thick and fast, we can probably keep their valuations up just because of our name. And if we keep winning, their valuations are going to go nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. All of that.
Mid-November, Manchester City. Because they had gone and gotten the results. They'd gotten some miraculous wins. Actually, the week before was the win against Aston Villa, where Mane puts in the header right at the death. I knew there was something special about this team and that they were going to be quite the force, but it was at that moment when Fabinho sends in the top shelf strike. They go up 3-0 against this unbeatable Manchester City. Not only are these guys possibly the best in the Premier League, but they're better than what many would consider to have, at the time, been the best in the world. So that was full confidence, like, no one's stopping them this year.
You had no idea that we left, but now we're back. So here we go. To round out the transfer conversation, I'm going to list some player names. You tell me, do they stay, do they go, and in what capacity do they go? Loan or sell? Rhian, Brewster, Darius.
He's got to stay.
Andrew.
Stay.
David.
Definitely stay.
We didn't talk about him much, but our boy Harry Wilson. David.
Sell.
How? Oh, sell him? Okay, so you said how. I was expecting you to say, just follow the rules and say go, and then say sell, but it's all right. Andrew, on to you.
Hey.
Oh, wow. Okay. Interesting. I can see a scenario for it. Okay. Darius?
Go, but I say loan because it's not going to be – the offer's not going to be high enough because pandemic.
Loan option to buy type of vibe. By the way, because I didn't say
give him the Danny Ings offer.
Stay with Brewster. I would probably sell Harry Wilson at this point. Next up, Divock Origi. Andrew first.
He's my hero. Stay.
Okay.
Stay.
Darius.
Go. I only think it's going to be something where if you get the right price, which may not happen this window, but if you get the right price.
Oh, sure. Everyone's got a price. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love him, but
Van Dijk's price, Andrew. I want to know what Van Dijk's price is.
$700 million.
Like
the Arsenal can trigger it with $700 million and £1.
Wait, do it again. I don't want the camera to catch you. Do it again.
Oh no. You can get that gift later.
Okay. Okay. So I would keep Divock Origi, and this is where you insert my whole footy man Divock Origi spiel that I always do. Anyways, next up, and lastly on the list. Oh shit! Actually,
he lost his list.
Shaq, maybe?
Yeah, that was it. Shaq. I couldn't read my own handwriting. Shaq, David, does he stay or does he go?
He's gonna stay.
Okay. Andrew?
No, go. Loan.
Oh, what? Loan option to buy.
Yeah, basically like a Coutinho thing.
Oh, okay. And Darius?
I'm gonna say he stays. Back up for Mo on the right side.
Yeah, I think he stays too, and he got injured again. Hopefully he stays healthy. But I think like this whole narrative in the offseason of like, oh, Shaq's unwanted. He had no playing time, and like completely ignoring the fact that it wasn't from like, lack of trying, but just the fact that he was injured the whole season was very odd to me.
His injury was weird too. Like I think it was worse than anybody really understood. It's just one of those things like reoccurs.
Unnecessary muscle mass. That's what it is.
Doctor stuff is hard. I don't know.
Basically, the larger the muscle, the more likely it is to be injured. And so, like, his calves are unnecessarily large. As much as I do enjoy their unnecessary largeness, they are just way too big for a normal soccer. Like, there's no need. No one's ever been, it's obviously compensation for other things, height and stuff like that. Not where your mind went. But, I would keep him because I think if he can stay healthy, there's an opportunity for him to do what he did in his first season and provide very important
against United. Yeah, for sure. No, he's a player.
Like, Barcelona assists, think about that. Think about
Newcastle
assists. You can think about the 2 goals Man United, like you said. There's
scores against Everton last season.
He bangs one off the crossbar that Mo taps in from 2 feet against Southampton. Like, there's value there and there's substance there, and there's a reason we signed him. We just couldn't use him last year. So I think he stays. Now we transition into the main event. Oh, sorry. Wait, go ahead.
Oh, yeah,
Andrew.
I was going to say the transition, though. If Shaq has a great left foot, just like another guy in Spain.
Oh, yeah, no. We're going to get there. We're going into the preseason. You know what? Because we are in the transfer section, let's put it here. You're right, Andrew. Yeah, there's a certain left footer in Spain named Lionel Messi. Now, to make this Liverpool-related, it's very surreal that Lionel Messi has even been linked to us in a serious manner. I don't know if you saw the stories that talked about us. We're actually 5th or 6th on the odds, but everyone take a guess. Where do you think he's going? Where do you think he's going, David?
I think it's all a lot of posturing and all a lot of, talk. But I honestly, what I think will end up happening is Bartomeu or whatever his name is, he'll quit. The president. And the president, he'll quit. The board will rethink things, and he'll stay. In the end, he'll stay.
He'll stay as president, by the way. He will be elected.
Yeah, he'll probably be the president.
And he will literally fire coaches on sidelines after losses. Andrew, where do you think? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, David.
At first, I was like, he's going to go to Italy, like reignite a rivalry with Ronaldo. He can kind of follow in Maradona's footsteps. But the more I thought about it, I was like, it's probably City because they're the only ones that can actually afford it. But do you really want to come up here and play in this league where this breakneck pace and the icy cold winds, where the defenders are just going to cut your legs out and the referees don't care?
Yes.
Like, is that what he wants? Yes. Or does he probably really want to actually stay in Spain and just get a different group around him? I mean, I don't know. Part of me thinks he'll go to City, but I really think he actually stays.
All right, so Andrew, where do you think happens in the Lionel Messi saga?
Well, so the wife told me he ain't going nowhere.
Okay.
So I believe the wife.
ITK.
That's that I learned as a kid. You gotta believe the wife. No, I'm kidding. Yeah. So he. No. Seriously though, she did say that she was like, he's a one-man team. He ain't going nowhere. I was like, all right. No, I kind of believe what Dave is saying. He probably wants to stay in Spain. I mean, the weather. He's been there basically all his life, all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing, though. Daddy's calling him. His daddy's calling him. His daddy wants him there. His daddy wants him in Manchester. If he's going to leave, he's going to go to City. And then if he does go to City, then that makes Andrew all kinds of worried in terms of our season. And it's just everything just chaotic for Andrew and pessimism. Okay. And
if he does go, though, some things to think about at his age in this league. Like, do you think in the cold, do you think he stays healthy all year? I kind of doubt it.
Listen,
is there going to be a settling in period? Yeah, probably.
But to make like a comparison to American sports, like there's a reason why Tom Brady at his age left New England to come to Tampa Bay. He even said it. The weather is more conducive to his older joints. Lionel Messi going from sunny Spain to the northwest of England.
But guys, he's what, 33? He's Milner's age. He's not.
Yeah, but
his
body isn't conditioned for that cold.
Dude, but his body scores 40 goals a year.
Yeah, but in the
last 6 seasons,
in the humidity on the ocean, salty seas of Barcelona, sunny and like really like on a science level to get weird Joe Rogan levels of anatomy lessons here. The cold has a different effect on your body than the heat, and if you live in a hot environment for a long time, and your body gets acclimated to that sort of thing, and then you transition to a wildly different climate, it can have adverse effects on your body. It might take some time.
He got enough money to buy like a thing that Brett Owens bought, like an echo chamber thingy.
And there's an opportunity with COVID that they'll be playing in bubbles at some point, like literal bubbles around them.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
you can set the climate in there to be whatever. So
to summarize, if he stay, I think he'll most likely.
No, we gotta ask Darius. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, like Darius, what do you think?
Yeah.
Swansea. So he can finally do it. Hey, lads, he's finally going to do it on a cold night in Stoke. He's got to go up there and he's got to prove it, because I've been saying for the last 20 years, everybody's been like, he can't do it on a cold night in Stoke.
Yes, no, he can't. He can't. And I can't.
I really don't think that that's going to factor into his decision.
He want to?
Well, he didn't do it on a cold. He didn't do it on a cold night in Liverpool on a Wednesday.
He has nothing to prove.
He's never done it in Liverpool. He's lost both his matches in Liverpool. Keep that in mind.
That is true. I'll say I think more likely than not he is going to stay at Barcelona, because he has nothing to prove by going to another league. He doesn't have to. He doesn't want to go anywhere where he's not going to be the guy. And if he goes to City, he's not going to have nearly as much power. Same as if he went to Liverpool. Same, honestly, if he even went to PSG. He's not going to be the star. The only place where he's going to be a god level where he is currently is either Barcelona or, well, maybe MLS, but he ain't going.
So, all right, so that's the thing with City, right? I heard the deal they're offering him is 3 years, like his normal salary, and then they transition him off to NYCFC. And I'm like, if I'm him, do I want to go to Manchester and then follow that with New York City? Like, does he just, that is so Ronaldo? I could see Ronaldo doing that, but do I see Messi doing that? I see Messi just going, I'm going to park it in Miami for a year, and then he's going to go play for Newell's Old Boys, because that was his boyhood club.
That would make more sense, right?
You know what I mean? He's always said he wants to go back, so I think at some point he will, probably in 3 years' time.
I think he goes to Manchester City because I think Lionel Messi is intelligent enough to see the writing on the wall at Barcelona, and it's just a personally vindicating moment that Barcelona's era is coming to an end, and it's just so apparent. And all this time when Liverpool were struggling, and I had to have all these conversations with casual fans about how Barcelona is a bigger club than Liverpool for this reason or that reason. I think Lionel Messi realizes that it's done. It's over. La Masia is trash. If you know anything about the way Barcelona is run currently, they are on the edge of a cliff of a financial crisis, and there is no easy fix to it, especially if Lionel Messi gets out of town. And Lionel Messi is the only thing holding any semblance of normal, good football together at Barcelona, which honestly has been subpar for the last 3 seasons. And the writing's been on the wall for the last 3 seasons. Everyone's too old. They were all brought in on big money. They were all brought in at the expense of youth players in La Masia who were sold off to different clubs to be in their youth system, a la Eric Garcia at Manchester City.
Now they're talking about Manchester City giving him back.
Yeah,
part of the deal.
Yeah.
I think Messi sees the writing on the wall, and the one thing that players want to do at the end of their careers, no matter how good they are, is chase trophies. It's part of the same reason why Ronaldo left Real Madrid, because he saw Juventus as a better opportunity to win the Champions League and go win a different type of title. And I think Lionel Messi desperately wants one more Champions League, and I think he sees in Manchester City an opportunity to actually be that hero figure by delivering him that one trophy they can't get. And who is the one player that Pep Guardiola has been missing to win the Champions League, that hasn't been part of his teams, that he couldn't win the Champions League? A certain Lionel Messi. And maybe they both realize in their heads this is their chance to win that cup. And Messi, larger than that, realizes, hey, if I do want to win things, it's not going to be at Barcelona probably.
I definitely agree with that Barcelona, they're absolutely in shambles. So there's no chance that he's looking at what's going on there and saying, this is a good setup, I'm happy here. Well, of course not, because he's obviously put in the transfer request. But at the same time, he's not trying to go and start fresh, start new. It's kind of like when you get to a certain age and you're just like, you know what, I'm not going to move no more because I'm happy where I am. I'm not the happiest. I want things to change and be a little bit better, but it's fine here, I guess. So that's kind of where Messi is. I think it's more of a play. Honestly, like the way that Dave put it, I think it's kind of perfect. It's like, look, he's just trying to get everyone in the board about the paint, and he's trying to have it all his way more than anything else. But I do think he would leave if it were the right team. I don't see it being better anywhere else, really, as far as like everything across the board, not just football, but like the weather, the lifestyle. Dude, I don't even know. Does Messi really speak English? Because
no,
he does all this. Seriously, like I'm not even kidding. Like he does all of his interviews in Spanish. I understand he may know English and be holding back, but dude, why this late in your career? You don't have to go somewhere else. Who does he have to prove his worth to? Who is looking at Messi and saying, I don't know, I would have him as an all-time great, but like seriously, who does he have to prove it to?
Facebook, football, Twitter.
And to the point about to the point about Barca, like you said, he's the only thing holding anything together. Well, that happens from a business standpoint too. He's the guy that people buy his jersey. He's the guy that people come to see. And if you sell him off, if you let him go, why? I'm not going to pay these outrageous ticket prices. I'm not, whose kit am I getting really? Am I really like that excited to get an Antoine Griezmann kit when he doesn't even start half the time? You know what I mean? Or he's hurt all the time.
Yeah.
And they're building up that stadium. They're building it out more to like 105,000. There are things that he could look forward to and try to help the club transition into its next phase as like the ultimate servant. And I think that's probably a little bit more his way. I mean, it's just the impression I get, but because if I'm him, am I going to go to Manchester City? Like, this isn't exactly footballing royalty over here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Andrew, finish us out. You were trying to say something. Finish us out on the Messi discussion.
But no, I mean, damn, I just lost my thought.
All right, I got something to cap the conversation. So Barcelona, they are at a spot where it is actually questionable whether or not they should be encouraged by this and be like, you know what, Messi, we will let you go. Obviously, they would want to do it for a fee, a sizable fee, because Barcelona have been, over the last 3-4 years, in serious need of a facelift. They've been in desperate need of rejuvenation, and they've been in desperate need of either being through La Masia or getting young talent in to do a hard reset. They've been needing that because Messi has been the guy on the pitch where we usually think of this as like a mid-table team where it's like, if it weren't for this guy, they'd be getting relegated. Well, that's what Barcelona have been. If they didn't have Messi for the last 3-4 years, we'd be looking at them like, they're an okay team. They're no Atleti, they're no Real Madrid, but they're okay over there in Spain. Messi has been that difference. So for both sides, it might be beneficial for both teams if they do part ways.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, like, at some point too, like, the reality is Lionel Messi, maybe he can play till he dies, but he's gonna die too. So unless we're gonna have cyborg Messi out there,
Messi forever, bro. No,
you know,
don't say that.
He has to retire, right?
And that is the first time in all Messi chat on the internet I've ever heard someone go, he's gonna die.
He's not human, dude. No.
Coming up, Maradona's going out in a fucking cocaine binge, and you already know it. But it's gonna happen, bro. It's just a fact of goddamn life. Lionel Messi will die. I'm not here to crush your dreams. I'm just here to tell you the truth.
No. I will say Messi is gonna have to die at some point. With Maradona, it's more like, dude, he's still alive?
No, yeah. But the other thing I wanted to touch on was like what you saying, Darius, is the Barcelona I was introduced to was like 7th place every single year, Barcelona. And then Ronaldinho came along and they like got really good out of nowhere. And then he passed it off to Messi and they became like Pep Guardiola's Barcelona. So like this Barcelona was not the Barcelona I grew up with, quote unquote. So there's a very likely reality that after Messi, they return to being Manchester United of last year and what Manchester United's returning to being. Let's look at that little jibe I fit in there. Isn't that beautiful?
It cracks me up. They think they're getting him.
And so real quick, leave the transfers, go into the next season preview, the season that's coming up preview. Just real quick, Luis Suárez, would you take him back? David?
Yeah.
Andrew says
For free. If it were for free, I'd take it.
Okay.
Two things about it. If it were free and if Klopp decides Brewster needs to go out on loan, then yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's like a temporary fix until Brewster comes back and Klopp feels like he's ready. But if Brewster's around and Origi's around, no, because I don't want those guys to have their opportunities stepped on. Then again, you could argue like, well, if they sell Origi for money and get Suárez in on a free, I mean, that's not a bad deal for a year, especially if the understanding is that Suárez isn't going to start all the time. Then okay. But yeah, otherwise, no. I mean, not at his age, and he's putting on the pounds, and I heard he's already talking to Inter Miami, so.
Oh, that I would go see him in a fucking second.
Oh, and hello, we should make an event. Let's go see Suárez.
Hell yeah.
Let's go see Suárez. We'll DM him before the game and he'll fucking.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll speak to him in like Uruguayan slang or some shit. I'll learn some.
Hey, Luis, you want the Marco Grujic treatment? Because we'll give it to you, baby. Just answer that DM. I have a love affair with Luis Suárez. I always will. I thought that one season in 2013-14, even though we didn't win the league, he should have won the Ballon d'Or. I think it's a travesty we didn't let him take penalties so he could have scored 40 goals in the season. It's a travesty that he had to bite someone. I say we sign him just so he can pull his dick out at Old Trafford, wave it around. Then we release him and he goes to Ajax. That's my bad. Darius, do you buy Luis Suárez? Do you get him on a free, or you say no?
Buy him?
No?
Oh, of course not. No. If you get him on a free, only if he's cool with being like the 3rd or 4th striker, which is way beneath him. I like the MLS route. If he wants to be East Coast Zlatan, then absolutely. But otherwise, it's like, nah. What we have to offer is beneath him. He should still be playing top-tier football, but not at the level of Liverpool. That's too much.
It's probably not going to happen, to be honest. That's why we were only shortly touching on it. But there's opportunities.
AC Milan with Zlatan. Can you imagine the two of them up top together?
Oh, what a strike!
I would
roll out the walkers for them.
No, they couldn't have played together at Ajax, could they? Zlatan's too old. No, I was going to say there's plenty of really good opportunities in South Beach and Miami for Luis Suárez, like find a Uruguayan restaurant and like sink your teeth into. Oh, wow. Anyways, there's a new season upon us, which means here at Tampa Bay Cop Talk, we have to set expectations and we have to talk about what we think is going to happen. So first of all, Andrew, because you are the pessimist, I would be interested to hear, or not the pessimist, but the cautious one, what your definition of success for this season would be.
2nd place.
Okay. Just 2nd place. If we win first, it doesn't count.
Oh, no. I'm saying like the minimum requirement. I interpreted your question as the minimum.
No, I was just giving you shit. Yeah, no. Yeah. 2nd place
the
or
minimum
above,
would be 2nd, possibly 3rd. And then, quarterfinal in the Champions League. That would be for me minimum success. And then obviously getting kicked out of the domestic cups. we never go far though.
No,
that would be the minimum level of success for me.
Yeah. Okay, Darius, what's your definition of success?
I would say for success, 2 trophies. So I'm looking at one of the 2 domestics. So I think between the 2 of them, they could have a legit with the Carabao, because it's like, I think their second team is going to be right there with City as best in England. So there's no reason why they couldn't go and win the Carabao Cup. FA Cup, okay, maybe there are going to be other teams trying a little bit harder. We'll see. But on top of that, I mean, obviously one of the top 2. I think they still have the quality to win the league again. And I still think that, I mean, what we just saw with the Champions League, none of those teams were that much better than what we saw from Liverpool. Liverpool had a bad matchup and a bad night, and really a couple bad mistakes against Atletico Madrid.
And an unlucky injury at the
they
most
were unlucky, right? Yeah. So outside of that bad matchup, they could have just as easily been one of those teams in. And you can't tell me PSG are that much better, Bayern are that much better.
Oh, we would have.
We know for damn sure ain't that much better. So there's no reason why they couldn't have won the Champions League last year. This year, I'm expecting them to be about the same level. So I would say winning one of the 2, domestic, winning the cup, or winning the European Cup. They should be right there.
Yeah, I mean, about your point of PSG and Bayern, it's like, hey, dummies, who did we beat last year on the road to the European Cup final? And honestly, desperately, the Champions League deserved to see us play Bayern Munich in the final. That would have been stellar, and I'm sad that we didn't get to see it. I think this is like a transition phase for Bayern Munich as well, where like a lot of their key players are a little older. And it would have been nice just the one last go around, even though we gave them the business in their own ground the year before. I think it deserved that. And one unlucky injury and then a mistake by the backup guy is the only reason. Yeah. And so there is an expectation that we could do well in the Champions League again. And hey, I don't know, believing in fate. It was supposed to be in Istanbul. We get knocked out. It's no longer in Istanbul, and so it's going to be in Istanbul next year. And I don't know. The vibes feel right, bro.
I thought it was going to be in Greece.
Oh, is it in Greece? I thought they were moving it back a year.
No, they were moving it back a year to make sure Istanbul gets its go. I think.
It, right.
Oh, is it?
Just like with the Olympics, shifting.
Either way, I think we would have beat Bayern Munich in that final this year if we were there. Ugh.
I mean, we beat them. We beat that exact. I mean, we didn't play Hansi Flick's Bayern Munich, but we played all the same players.
Alphonso Davies. Hey, put some respect on his name.
You know what? That would be him and Trent going at each other for a whole 90 minutes would be very sexy. Yes. David, your definition of success?
I look at success in 2 ways, like success of what, this current Liverpool squad probably should achieve, and then what I need to not be in despair at the end of the season. And so for me, all right, so we should be competing for a title. We should be competing for a Champions League. Those are where this Liverpool team is. But for me, I waited a long time for that title, just like you did. And I put a lot of intensity into it over the years. And I'm kind of a little bit more lax about this season than I usually am going into a season. And I kind of feel finish third, win the FA Cup, go to a Champions League semifinal. That is really good season that I'm quite happy with.
Yeah, I mean, as a man of metaphors, basically, once you lose your virginity, you're like, 4, whatever, fuck it, I don't care. Just, come over here, lady. Once you lose, unless you pop the cherry for it, you're like, whatever, I came now inside a vagina. I'm really not that wound up about talking to hot girls anymore. It's pretty easy. Wow, okay, yeah.
Wow,
it gets simpler,
What a way to finish.
I agree with David, though.
Go ahead, Andrew.
No, the selfish part of me, of course, wants another title because let's assume the pandemic gets a handle at the end of next season. And the selfish part of me wants that Hollywood ending of we win the title, we get a parade, we're all hugging and kissing and shit, no social distancing, none of that nonsense. You know what I mean? Not that it's nonsense.
Have a proper title, though.
No.
A proper title.
I want to tie United on total titles. So, obviously this is something
Before
I want. But
Fergie dies, we must usurp You Manchester United, and we should do it in the quickest manner possible with the manager he feared the most. We should absolutely take him over in 2 years. And 100%.
You know what's funny about me saying this shit? It's like I'm sitting here thinking to myself, like, I'm saying that today because it's, August. It's going to be like mid-December, and I'm going to be fucking a ball of stress just acting like an asshole again.
Well, so
we're only 15 points up, guys.
Yeah, no. So for me, success is like title challenge for the Champions League. Legitimately, like if we run into a team on their night with all our players, it is what it is. But like quarterfinal, I think is a good benchmark. That's when usually the good teams start interacting, is after the round of 16. I do want to win a domestic cup. I know people don't care about the FA Cup anymore, but it would be like Manchester United is like a benchmark and just like erasing their relevancy from football. I talked about it last year with the Centurions and trying to go undefeated. I just want to erase everyone from football. Now, that's like the absolute best scenario, but for me, I would be satisfied with we take probably going to be City, maybe Manchester United. No. Maybe Chelsea. No. What? You're going to buy 1,200 new players and you think they're going to know how to play in the Premier League instantly with a new manager?
But they didn't address their biggest problem.
And like you players? Yeah. The goalkeeper.
No, they gave up 54 goals last season.
No, exactly. Yeah.
And you got a 36-year-old center back who's never played in this league before as the only improvement in the back.
To be fair, it's Thiago Silva. It's kind of like when we finally got Virgil van Dijk, and rather than trying to force number twos to be number ones, we had a number one, like leader in the defense with Virgil van Dijk. Like Joel Matip isn't good enough to be that. Rudiger's not good enough to be that. What's his name? The kid.
Except he's a decade older than Virgil was.
No, that's true. He's old and he's not a final solution, but I do see him helping with their defensive woes. But Kepa is still going to be in there.
Be sure to support the homie Acoupstix. Stoop Coops, streaming now.
She made me coffee in the morning. She made me coffee in the evening. She made me coffee in the morning. She made me coffee in the evening.
The point being that the only real challengers to our title this year is probably City. And so in that regard, title challenge, right? Because I don't see anyone else really pushing us. And that's my definition of success. But expectations, where do you predict? Let's predict the top four right now. Give me a top four, Andrew.
In order?
Yes, in order. Start at four.
Okay.
Four,
Liverpool.
Okay,
City,
first.
Liverpool first, City, Chelsea. I hate to say this because Spurs.
Okay. I don't think so, but okay. I like it, but okay.
Good saying, man.
David, give me your top four, David.
Liverpool, Chelsea, City, United.
Ooh, ew.
Oh my God, I would love for City
to
finish with like 68 points with Lionel Messi,
and
win nothing after winning a Community Shield and League Cup and like win nothing.
My prediction is Chelsea score 274 goals but give up 179.
Okay, I like it. I'm with it. You know what? The Premier League needs some spiciness in this strange COVID times we live in. Darius, give me your top four.
Liverpool, City, Chelsea, Wolves.
Interesting. Wolves have just been pillaged. Matt Doherty's to Spurs. That gives a little support to Andrew's fourth place shout. Because it's a double whammy. First of all, it's decent enough.
Wait, hold on. Back to, is this what we think will happen or is this what we want? Because I gave what I wanted.
Oh, no, it's supposed to be what you think.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I gave what I wanted. But anyway,
okay,
we'll continue.
What do you think? No, what do you think? Go ahead.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Well, I'll just finish this. For Spurs finishing fourth, it means Matt Doherty comes in, who's quality, wing back. But it also means Serge Aurier never has to touch the pitch again, which is the main problem at Spurs when you talk about the back line. Now, they need some center backs and stuff like that. But anyways, Andrew, give me your prediction, not your hopes and dreams.
My hopes and dreams. All right, Liverpool, City, Chelsea, United. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that's what you were tormenting with, and then you went with what you wanted rather than what you
I
actually
know, because
want.
I think a Jose Mourinho in the league is healthy, not only for my entertainment, but it's also healthy because I hate Spurs too. So if they do one good season, then they'll tumble down the following season. So go to like 9th place or something. So this is what I want. Like that's why
I was like, if we're going with what we want, I'm gonna go Liverpool, Wolves, Newcastle, Arsenal.
I think no. If we're going once, hopes and dreams, right? I'm going Liverpool, Leicester, and then I'm gonna go. After that, why not Wolves and then Sheffield? But the specific condition for mine being that Leicester have a 3-point lead with 2 games to play.
Oh.
And Jamie Vardy's through on goal and slips.
Oh,
and then it's taken end to end.
Don't give them that juju. That's bad karma on us.
Yeah, no. Dude, I need to like.
I'm just being a jerk. I do legitimately want to see Brendan Rodgers and Leicester have success. I was kind of sad that they didn't make it into the Champions League last year. I was actually kind of rooting for that, but I mean, it would be kind of funny, but it just.
I think I'd like to see Leeds in 4th going into the final week, and then they get docked 30 points because someone got a picture of Bielsa peeking over a fence.
Oh my god. Yeah. So what I think will happen, and I honestly believe that we will win the league just because it's a similar vibe to like they didn't win the Champions League and then they won it. They didn't win the league and then they won it, but then they won the league and they didn't get a celebration. So like it's another juicy carrot at the end of the stick for the lads to keep them motivated. Like you ended this really big thing and you deserve more than what you got. And I think that's going to happen and it's going to drive them to win the league. And you know what? I live in a space now where we can do anything because we're the best team in the world, and I genuinely believe that. So why not a fucking treble? I think the second team that basically went through the Carabao Cup, and here's the legitimate thing, if that real second team got to face Villa, I think they would have had a chance to beat that Villa team.
Oh, yeah.
But it was the U23s. And even then still, they held their own for like 15 minutes until it was like, oh, no, you're children and these are grown-ass men that play in a professional football league now get run over. But I think if like Rhian Brewster was there and Harvey Elliott, so I really do, like you said, Darius, think like our second team is good enough, not even just to compete in the Carabao Cup, but also in the FA Cup where there aren't going to be juicy return legs on offer for these lower league clubs. And like they won't have like their crowds, even if they are small, and it kind of changes the whole thing and takes away that element. So I think I'm calling it treble because once again we erase Manchester United from history, and I'm calling on the camera, and you can call me out at the end. But what the hell is walking on with hope in your heart even fucking about if you don't say you're going to win the treble every season, right? Right?
I can't.
Wait, but you mean a real treble, not like Community Shield. FA Cup and Europa League. Like,
here's what I mean.
Oh God!
Let me correct myself. We win the league, we win the Champions League, we win the FA Cup, and we win the League Cup. And then we steal Manchester City's Formidables thing that they tried to do when they won the Charity Shield with the FA Cup, League Cup, and League. Formidables. We're going to be the real Formidables. We're going to one-up Manchester United. We're going to tie them on league titles. We're going to pass Bayern Munich again on Champions Leagues, even though I don't really care about their number. We'll pass Barcelona too, and we'll just have a good old time, and what I want, which is not totally different from what I think is going to happen, is that we win the league. Everton finished second with one loss, and it's to us at Goodison Park. Divock Origi is accidentally falling over, and it hits off his arse, and it goes to Jordan Pickford's hands, and he just like floops it, and it goes and it hits off the tip of his penis, and it puts enough spin so that it rolls into the goal. Because this is our fantasy, right? So why not just nail it?
You got a weird fantasy, bro. You'd be dreaming some weird stuff, dude.
In third place, who the fuck came up this season? That would be kind of cool if they somehow fucking. I mean, it's Fulham and it's West Brom and it's who was the team that and Leeds. Oh yeah,
I think Leeds because United fans hate them, right? Like they got their thing with United.
We kind of had a thing with them too. To be fair. To be fair, no. So never mind. Scratch that. Sheffield United finished third, and then Wolves finished fourth, and then the bottom part. Let's jump right to relegation real quick, and I'll do what I want first, and then we'll actually do real predictions. What I want first is it's Manchester United, Manchester City, and fucking I don't know. Everton's women's team somehow gets relegated just to do both. You came in second and you only lost to us. And your fucking women's team got relegated from the Premier League somehow. Anyways, predictions on relegation. Andrew.
West Brom, Aston Villa, and Leeds.
Wow. Poor Leeds.
Fuck that guy.
Darius, what do you got?
I would say West Brom. That sounds like a good one. But then after that, West Ham and Newcastle.
Oh, good shout.
I forgot about West Ham. Man, that's a good shout.
The poor Geordies, they think they're going to be rich, and then Darius is like, no, you're going fucking
I
down.
kind of want them to be. It would be kind of fun. But it ain't happening.
No, it would put stress on my life.
No, it's not happening. That ain't happening.
Yeah. It ain't happening, but
Mike Ashley forever, guys.
But you're basically going, hey, Geordies, I know you had the worst time ever. The deal's off, and you're going down. So
I'm so sorry. I like the Geordies. They seem cool. I would have a beer with them. But
yeah, I like them too. I want them to stick around. I like the few that show up to our pub and are like, it's a fucking shit show, but you kind of know what that's about, don't you? I'm like, yeah, at least we got out of it. I feel
True
really
Geordie, if you see this, dude, I'm sorry. Don't beat me up, man.
David, who do you got relegated?
I think Fulham will go right back down. And then I'm going to go the Hodge gets out, Palace goes down.
Oh, wow.
And West Ham.
Okay.
I got to follow up on
Dave's. For me,
all
if
London
Aston
get out.
Sells Grealish, he's gone.
Dave, I got to follow up on yours, man. Do you see Zaha still being there if they get relegated, or is he?
But how old is he now, though? He's like.
I mean, he's 28.
29?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too old. He'll probably bounce after they get relegated. Yeah.
But you think he'll be there for the campaign as they get relegated? Like, ooh.
Yeah. He might even go.
That'd be a miserable season for him because he knows he should have been out like 2-3 years ago. Like,
yeah. He was out. He got out.
He got out and then got back.
Yeah. Right when I get out, they get me back in.
Get out. Get out.
Oh,
all right, really.
West Brom will be right there, but they'll just somehow
I just hate West Brom. They're like a stove. They just need to go. They get off the map.
Wow. I do not. I don't enjoy West Brom because honestly, like every time I talk about the Hodgson era, I don't even know if this even happened during the Hodgson era. I know it happened during the Rodgers era, but I always just like throw out like, yeah, you don't remember the times if you guys were there for 10 years ago and it was Hodgson and we were losing to West Brom at 3-0 at 6 a.m. in the morning. They were always my example of like the team we lost to because they fucking suck.
Oh no, Rodgers' first game we lost 3-0 against West Brom away.
Yep. See, exactly. You're right. Fuck them. They go down. I'm on the West Brom. I'm on the West Brom train. They go down.
Fuck them, man. I don't even like the name. What does it even mean? Where is it?
No, you just said it. You just said it. You're like, you weren't there for the Hodgson era. That's why he goes now. I'm saying
he goes now.
All this bullshit.
He paid for his sins. He got fucking spanked at Anfield at the first game back or the second game back, the one to win the title. And then, he helped beat City a couple times, or he beat City at least once or drew them or something this year as well as beating them last year. So his sins are paid, and now he can fuck off as well. Crystal Palace goes down, and West Ham can go down because they tried to null and void the season because they didn't want to get relegated, and then they ended up surviving. So go down and stay down. All right, transitioning from the league to us specifically, who do you have as our top scorer for the season? Let's go with Darius first.
Top scorer, I am thinking Sadio Mane, but it's probably going to be Mo. But Sadio really stepped up last year with the way that he was more of a creator because he got to his 22 goals with, I think it was 1 assist. He was much more important. And his finishing wasn't as good as the year before. So I think he's going to have a big bounce back year. So I'm looking at like 23, 24 goals for Sadio, something that we're just going to be like, wow, this dude is incredible, something we already knew. But it's probably going to be Mo, but I'm going to back Sadio.
All right, David, who you got?
Chimikas. And every time he scores, the cop screams, Opa!
Oh, this is going to be fucking – I'm down for somehow – a 50-goal season from a left back just to see that happen every single time.
No, not really. Probably Darius is right. It's probably Mo, but you know what? I'm gonna say Bobby has his best year as a Red scoring goals.
He's never scored 20 in the league. Never.
Yeah. See, this year.
This year.
Yeah. This is his year.
Andrew, who's your shout?
Okay, so sources at the club tell me that we got a new penalty taker. and that's who's going to be our leading goal scorers. It's going to be Allison, number one, for sure. No, it's going to be Allison. No, I want my boyfriend to score all the goals, but it's not going to happen. I think Mo is going to be extra motivated to get the Golden Boot. So I think that's who is going to, be our top scorer. But who I want Mane to be our top scorer because he's trying so hard. He's doing all the good things, and I just want him to get rewarded properly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To be honest, like we'll have to discuss it at some point if we do a fantasy league again. But like I rode most of my success by being like one of the only Liverpool supporters to just back Mane from the very beginning. And so I also would like Mane to be the top scorer, but I do think it's probably going to be Mo because even though Mo had like,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
Even though Mo had like still like incredible season last year and has been like top level for like 2.5 years now. And I don't know why people keep saying he's off or whatever. Yeah, I think he's actually going to just be motivated to be like, oh, so now I have to score like 35 goals and get like 15 assists to be good. Right. Okay, whatever. And like just kick it into overdrive and like really, 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 really get after it. And like, yeah, take it by storm. But that's who I think, Mo. Probably top scorer. What are you
guys,
saying?
Let's not sound all sad about it. I love me the Mo song,
I know.
The wig and shit, I love that. When he scores, when he took off his top against United at Anfield, I mean, I took off my shirt. It was nuts. I did what Mo did. I love the Mo goal.
It's just that we're so spoiled now, but like Mane just deserves to like, because he's like right at the cusp of getting that recognition that he's like, no, guess what, guys? He's like at the best left winger in football. Yeah, probably. Lionel Messi's past it, bro. There's a conversation to be had that Mane is maybe better than Messi. From a standpoint of like he can't do like all like the little intricate dribbling that he does, but the end product and the results and what he delivers. He was part of a team that had 99 points. I went back and watched the goals from the season, like every single goal, and you forget how many very important goals that Sadio Mane scored in matches to either get us back in the game or to win us a game 1-0 like he did at Norwich City away. Because of all that time.
The winner against Aston Villa.
No, exactly.
I almost got to a car accident in that goal.
I'm not even joking. So like I think the sadness is more like I just really want Mane to get like the accolades and the trophies, the individual awards that he really doesn't personally want, and you can tell. But I think that it would just be nice for him to have, even though he shared the Golden Boot with Mo the season before. Yeah. So he's been there and done it. It wouldn't be surprising if he was there again. I wouldn't be sad if Mo was out there just doing his thing again, ripping his shirt off,
Yeah, I mean, Mo had so much creativity last year. I think that's why people are like, oh, he's not scoring as many goals. Well, it's like when you look at his goals plus assists. I mean, his last 2 years have been just as productive as his first season with Liverpool. The funny thing is, though, it's just like, Mo he's doing that little extra. Like he's the one that's like, I want the goal. Where Sadio's just like, you can have the goal, I'm gonna have the goal. I don't care. We're gonna get the goal. I'm good. So I don't know. It's just Sadio is easy to root for, but so is Mo. They're both so damn fun to watch. It's just
I'm not sad.
I'm good either way.
Yeah, I'm not sad, Andrew. You're right.
Score 19 goals.
All right, here we go. Who is your like surprise breakthrough player? Fringe player that like comes to the forefront this year and like changes opinions, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, yeah, this guy's a baller."
I think it's the writing's on the wall already. He's probably already making an impact, but for me, it's got to be Jones. He's got to. I mean, I know there's a lot of competition in midfield, but the games he does play, I think he's going to shine a bit brighter. So and maybe there'll be injuries. Good. You never know, but
that's a great shout.
Or Milner can be the best midfielder of all time this season. Who knows? It's either Jones or Billy.
To the point about Curtis Jones, we didn't talk about it during the friendly part, but he's also been very impressive in the friendlies with the way he's played, with his general football intelligence. I posted on the Facebook about how he had the football intelligence when he was involved with that goal against, was it Burnley? Where he was like part of the build-up to the midfield, and then he changed positions from the left wing, and then he came back across to the right wing. And like in the preseasons, he showed that sharpness. So that's a very good shout. I would also, I'm just going to piggyback on you because I was going to pick him. Curtis Jones, I think, comes to the forefront. I also think Rhian Brewster has an impact as well, but not as much as Curtis Jones. Darius, who is your breakthrough player?
Naby Lad. It's got to be Naby Keita. Like, here's the thing. We look at goals and assists a little bit too much when it comes to players because he had a profound impact especially second half of last season, where there were times where he was the only guy moving the ball forward. And what he does, it's so random. You never really know which way he's going to go, what he's going to do with the ball. He can make every pass. He can get through. He's not the quickest or fastest guy, but he can push forward as well. And, I mean, his tackling is a little bit underrated. But overall, I mean, he's that complete box-to-box midfielder. And outside of maybe a Jordan Henderson, I'd say he's the most complete midfielder that you have at Liverpool. So it's just we're finally going to see it all put together, provided he's healthy this season. But we've seen it in flashes. So I'm banking on the fact that he's going to be healthy for a full season. So we're going to actually get to see it across a 38 leagues season. So I'm banking on it being Naby Keita. It's not necessarily going to be in goals and assists, but it's just we're going to walk away every match being like, damn, he might be the best player. Kind of like how we felt with Fabinho when he got into his groove. I'm expecting it to be 20, 30 matches of that from Naby Keita.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen YouTube Naby yet, have we? Like fully. No. The whole package, and that's a good shot as well. I didn't even think about him, but you're right. And that goal he scored against Chelsea, even though it's not about goals and assists, there's probably a very strong likelihood there's a few more goals and a few more assists from Naby Keita. David, who is your breakthrough player?
Yeah, I think you guys already hit the nail on the head with Naby and Jones. Brewster certainly got a shot if he ends up staying, but just for the sake of being, a little bit contrarian or just saying something different, I'm gonna go. This is finally the year Shaq, his calf muscles take a muscle relaxer and start vibing on playing like twice a week, and he actually puts in a lot of good performances and changes us. Another guy I think we should look out for too is Nico Williams. Will at some point play an important part because Trent is, he's going to be coming off of he did test positive, so. I'm sure he's fine, but you don't know the ongoing effects of having it, and I just think he can't play every game, so I think Nico will play some important games for us in this season.
Yeah, Nico was another guy we didn't talk about in the preseason friendly section that he hit a couple crosses, and the way they whipped in and the pace that they came in, I was like, okay, I can see it because you know where I'm going. Breakthrough players, Trent Alexander-Arnold in the midfield. That's what it actually is. That's what it is.
Say it ain't so.
No. I think that's maybe not this season, but next season if Nico Williams continues on a trajectory. And one last really out there shout, that French center back whose name I'm going to get and figure out. He's been having personal training sessions with Jurgen Klopp. In Austria.
He a child though? How old is he?
Yes. But remember Rafael Varane when he came to Real Madrid at a very young age and developed very quickly and became a world-class center back at the age of 18, basically like that. But Klopp, the reason I say this is not necessarily just because of what I've seen of him, but he's looked very calm, composed, and knows what he's doing out there. But Klopp has been, while they were in Austria, was having one-on-one training sessions with him, which I don't know if that's normal for Jurgen Klopp to do, but apparently – he had a lot of, not even just one or two, but multiple one-on-one training sessions with him where he was discussing things with him, breaking things down with him. And we just signed the kid, so I don't know what that's all about. Him and Sepp Vandenberg look very good together, but I'm going to give him a shout because it happens every so often where one of these wonder kids comes around, and why not us? Why not us, right?
What time?
All right, so to finish, there was a game Saturday where I'm gonna put Darius under the pressure and be like, if you could get this out before the Charity Shield so this ending isn't rendered useless, that would be very cool. But we're going to discuss it anyway. So if it's after the match, because, life happens and I understand, Darius, then we're either very smart people or very dumb people, and you can judge us based on what we say now. But here are our predictions, which you can still do after the match if it comes out before. And here we go. Predictions for the Charity Shield. I will go first because I've been throwing it to you guys. I will go first, and I will say that we beat Arsenal by a score of 3-0. And it looks very easy peasy lemon squeezy. And everyone goes, is Arsenal in trouble? And everyone goes, oh, fuck, Liverpool is actually really as good as they've proven to be for the last 2 years. Andrew, I saw you shaking your head and rubbing your hair and being nervous and worried. Tell me what you think.
No, I think our woes towards the end of, since the bubble continue. And I think or I say woes, but you know what I mean. I think we win. I want a 3-1, but I take a 2-1. I think we're gonna concede basically, and that's when I'm gonna get super nervous and all that, like super anxious and all that. But the beers will calm me down. But I'm hoping for a 3-1, but I just don't see it being easy. That's all.
All right, David, give us your prediction.
I think we're down 2-0 at the half. We bring on Rhian Brewster, and he scores a hat trick. 3-2 Liverpool.
Oh my God.
And I've been reading that the club is going to play him this weekend, and then he's supposed to go on England duty, and that's when they're going to decide whether or not he's going to stay or go out on loan. And I think he stays because he's going to score a hat trick.
Wow.
I buy that. Okay, cool.
New prediction is that one. I erase my prediction and go with that one.
Yeah.
Darius, let's go. Let's hear it. What is your Charity Shield prediction?
I am thinking it's going to be 4-2 Liverpool. It's going to be a little messy at the back because I'm going to sit Virgil van Dijk. He took a knock this last week against RB Salzburg. But we're going to have 4 goals, and it's going to be because of 2 penalties from David Luiz.
Okay. Wow, can I combine predictions and make a super prediction?
Yeah, I like
Because this is very spicy stuff that you guys have all unloaded on me at the very end here, and I don't know how to handle it. Yes, I like that one too. David Luiz penalties, because what is David Luiz there for but to put on a show? But yeah, I just don't think Arsenal can hang with us. They're going through transition, and I think we're really, really, really good. And, you know, even though it's like a meaningless trophy, we didn't win it last year. We went to penalties. We should have won it. Kyle Walker cleared it off the line. Just go do the business against these bastards. And yeah, that's it for this first episode. Enjoy the way it is produced, because I'm sure it's going to be great. Shout out to Darius beforehand. And yeah, we're sorry that Dave has seamlessly changed in appearance, of quality and background. There's no longer a cop behind him. It's very upsetting and disappointing, but whatever. We'll make do. Continuity's ruined, but it's all right. I'll live. We have plenty in store for you this season. We're trying to grow, become bigger. Hopefully we can do that. I'm not going to say hopefully, we're going to do that. Once we get on the other side of this corona, we can do really fun things. In the meantime, we'll still be potting and talking in little boxes separated until things get better. I think we should all, you know, at this point, if I could, I know Darius won't do this, I would just re-put his monologue at this point so you'd listen to it again. And remember that sports is really just a distraction. And there was a wonderful quote that I saw on the internet, and I forgot who it's by. Sports are a reward for a functioning society. And so we get to enjoy sports only really if the world around us is as it should be, and everyone's dignity, as Darius put it so eloquently, is protected. And so until next time, I'm Jordan.
I'm David.
I'm Darius.
Andrew.
And we're going to win the fucking league. Go on, lads.
Yes. Good luck, guys.